Just travel light and steer clear of attachments, and I can guarantee you happy trails. I'll throw away the things I thought I needed and stake me out some new terrain. Then if plan A derails, well, I'll concede it and simply climb aboard the B train. The only thing that changes is the scenery. I have put my faith in this machinery. This town's an open book, can't wait to read it. It just might tell me take the B train. Can't wait to read it. It just might tell me take the B train, take the B train, take the B train. The stars out tonight. I can't tell if it's cloudy or bright, 'cause I only have eyes for you, dear. The moon may be high, but I can't see a thing in the sky, 'cause I only have eyes. I Maybe millions of people go by, but they all disappear from view. And I only have eyes for you. Tell if it's cloudy or bright, 'cause I only have eyes for you, dear. The moon may be high, but I can't see a thing in the sky, 'cause I only have eyes for you. How are those cement seats working out for you? You know what? It's a beautiful thing to have you all here. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to the Toronto Undergraduate Jazz Festival for the incredible work that they're doing, to all the sponsors and all the crew. We're so glad to be here. I'm particularly delighted to be here with these fine gentlemen that I get to call bandmates and friends, and it's really a delight. And I encourage you, yes, if it's at any point in time you're feeling a little restless in the seats, you can dance, you can move around. You're more than welcome. Yeah, although yes, it's if you're feeling a little, maybe a little hesitant to do that, start with a foot tap. Go from there, and then maybe a knee movement, and then you can break out into it. We'll see what happens. There's no judgment here whatsoever. We're going to continue now with a tune that I remember from a television show when I was growing up, and it was one of those things. We were just talking about this backstage, actually. This idea of a show that is so politically incorrect it probably could never happen today, except maybe on HBO. So hopefully you know this one. If you know it, by all means, sing along. Boy, the way Glenn Miller played songs that made the hit parade. Guys like us, we had it made. Let me hear ya. 12 of you got it. Perfect. Now you know for next time. People seem to be content, and $50 paid the rent. Fun was in a circus tent. Come on, sing it. Mister, we could use a man like Herbert Hoover again. Hair was short and skirts were long. Keely Smith sure sang a song. Gee, I wonder what went wrong. Those were the days. thank you. So nowadays, speaking of television shows, nowadays everybody just kind of, it's not necessarily what are you watching tonight, because it's Saturday night or it's Thursday night or whatever. Now it's what are you watching in general, because nobody watches regular TV anymore, right? And everybody watches all these other things. And inevitably, you turn to the people that you know for recommendations. We do it all the time. We're just backstage, kind of sharing ideas about things that we could watch. And I remember at one point in time, I mentioned something about the fact that I liked some interesting movies. And someone suggested that I watch a particular movie, and I thought to myself, well, I'll sit down and I'll watch this one time with my family. The movie was Reservoir Dogs. There's a particular scene. I don't want to give anything away, but Vincent van Gogh is a hint. If you value your earrings coming in pairs, don't watch that scene. But the good part about the scene is this song. It was kind of resurrected again, and this happens a lot in movies. Louis Armstrong recorded What a Wonderful World in the 60s, and then in the 80s, Good Morning Vietnam made it a hit. Well, Reservoir Dogs kind of resurrected this song. But the problem is, maybe when you hear it, you might be seeing that scene. So we're going to try to change it up a little bit. If you've seen Reservoir Dogs and you know this scene, just think happy places. Just go to that happy place, go to your happy thoughts. It'll all be fine. Something ain't right. I'm so scared in case I fall off my chair, and I'm wondering how I'll get down the stairs. I got clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Yes, I'm stuck in the middle with you, and I know there's nothing I can do. Trying hard to keep the smile on my face, I'm losing control. Yeah, I'm all over the place. To the left of me, joker to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Well, you started out with nothing, and you're proud that you're a self-made man. So your friends, they all come crawling and slap you on the back and say, please. Try to make some sense of it all, but I know that it makes no sense at all. Is it cool to fall asleep on the floor? Take anymore. I got clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Festival, but we can still let our hair down, right? All right. This next song is from a musical. If I do the following, just whatever comes to mind, okay? I'm just going to do something. You just sing something back to me. You ready? Oh! Okay, good. That's good. I did this in Newfoundland one time. There were two different times that I performed this, because I'm from Newfoundland originally. And I performed this in Newfoundland. Thank you very much. There's 3 of us, right? 3 Newfoundlanders in the crowd. How many of the Newfoundlanders in the crowd? 2 of us. God love you. We're probably related. I performed it one time, and the first time I ever performed it, and I did that exact same thing to the audience. I said, oh, and they sang a 3-part chord back to me. You can tell Newfoundland is a choral community. Most recently I did it, and the difference was this time I did it with a whole bunch of musical theater people in the audience. And I did the same thing, and I just said, oh, and the whole room went, Oklahoma, where the wind blows, and they all just kept going. So yes, it is from Oklahoma, and this is that idea of those beautiful mornings. Think about it here in Toronto, when you wake up on a summer morning and it's a very pleasant 18 degrees, and it never goes above 24, and there's no humidity. That's a summer here, right? So think about that. You'll know what we're talking about. 1, 2, 3, we're gonna have to start the tune again, because I want to make sure that I'm hearing you okay. There we go. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. The corn is as high as an elephant's eye, and it looks like it's climbing straight up to the sky. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a wonderful feeling. Everything's going my way. Everything's going my way. All the sound of the world is like music. All the sound of the world is like music. The breeze is so busy, you don't miss a tree, and the little old willow is laughing at me. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a wonderful feeling. Everything's going my way. Everything's going my way. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. The corn is as high as an elephant's eye. It looks like it's climbing straight up to the sky. What a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a wonderful feeling. Everything's going my way. Everything's going my way. so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How many of you, by round of applause, have never been to a jazz show before? By round of applause. Okay, welcome. Welcome. This is very painless. Honestly, the joyful thing about jazz is that when you hear something you like, you can yell out and you can applaud, and that's why if you're looking around wondering why people are applauding in the middle of songs when they're not done, it's because they're hearing things they like and they want to appreciate the solos. So if you go to a symphony, I encourage you to take that to the symphony with you. If you hear something that, you know, in the middle of it, they're doing the mission and you hear the oboist do a solo, just yes! Woo! And just start doing that at the symphony. They'll really appreciate it. Absolutely. Anything at all. If you hear Carmen, woo! Carmen! Just do things like that. Great. Works really, really well. This song is, again, we're going to stay in the Oklahoma theme. Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein II wrote some beautiful stuff for the show Oklahoma. This is that age-old theme of wanting to impress someone with a car. So that's the theme of the song. The feel of the song, though, if you're thinking to yourself, okay, it's a musical. It's not a musical like, you know, if you're used to hearing chicks and ducks and geese better scurry, you're not going to hear that now. It's going to be more like if the musical starred Jennifer Lopez and Ricky Martin. So picture that with a little chili sauce on the side, and that gives you the vibe of this next one. Chicks and ducks and geese better scurry when I take you out in the Surrey, when I take you out in the Surrey with the fringe on top. Watch that fringe and see how it flutters while I ride them high-stepping strutters. Nosy folks will peek through their shutters and their eyes will pop. The wheels are yellow, the upholstery's brown, the dashboard's genuine leather. With eyes and glass curtains you can roll right down in case there's a change in the weather. Two bright side lights winking and blinking. Ain't no kind of rig I'm a-thinking. You can keep your rig if you're thinking that I'd care to stop for that shiny little Surrey with the fringe on the top. I can see the stars getting blurry while we ride back home in the Surrey, riding slowly home in the Surrey with the fringe on top. can see the day getting older. Feel a sleepy head on my shoulder, riding slowly close to my shoulder till it falls kerplop. The sun is setting on the rim of the hill. The moon is taking a header. Just as I'm thinking the earth is still, a lark will rise up in the meadow. Hush you bird, my baby's asleep and got a silly dream worth the keeping. Whoa, you team, just keep it at a slow clip, clop. Don't you worry, little Surrey, with a friend. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. We're going to take a very short break. Very, very short break. Now, I know the tendency will be to leave, but trust me when I tell you, you don't want to do that, because in the next set, those smoke machines are going to blow up even more. And there may be pyrotechnics, I'm not sure, but at the very least, I'll come up and light a lighter by the smoke machine and we'll see what happens. Plus, we've now memorized all of your faces, so we know exactly where you are. So if I ever see you again, I'm Catholic, so we'll make you guilty. We'll just work it and say, you were there and then you left and you missed the second set. It was our best thing. So we're so glad you're here. We have more set up for you. So it's going to be just like that, but even better. Anyway, we're going to take a very, very short break after this next tune. 10 minutes. You can get up, stretch your legs, come back for lots more fun with these fine gentlemen. Over here on the drums, Mr. Mark Kelso. On the bass, Mr. Ross McIntyre. On the keys, Mr. Stu Harrison. And on trumpet and flugelhorn, Mr. Chase Sanborn. I'm going to dedicate this to all of you who are like me at a certain age and you're always a little warm. It's too darn hot, too darn hot. I'd like to sup with my baby tonight. Fill the cup with my baby tonight. I'd like to sup with my baby tonight. Fill the cup with my baby tonight. But I ain't up for my baby tonight, 'cause it's too darn hot. It's too darn hot, too darn hot. I'd like to coo with my baby tonight and pitch the woo to my baby tonight. I'd like to coo with my baby tonight, pitch the woo to my baby tonight. But brother, you'll find my baby tonight, 'cause it's too darn hot. According to the Kinsey report, every average man you know much prefers his lovey-dovey to talk and the temperature is low. But when the thermometer goes way up and the weather is sizzling hot, Mr. Pants for Romance is not, 'cause it's too darn hot, too darn hot. It's too darn hot. It's too darn hot, too darn hot. I'd like to sup with my baby tonight and fill the cup with my baby tonight. I'd like to sup with my baby tonight and fill the cup with my baby tonight. I ain't up for my baby tonight 'cause it's too darn hot. It's too darn hot, too darn hot. I'd like to stop with my baby tonight. Blow my top with my baby tonight. I'd like to stop with my baby tonight. Blow my top with my baby tonight. I'd be up on with my baby tonight 'cause it's too darn hot. According to the Kinsey report, every average man you know much prefers his life in a car when the temperature is low. But when the thermometer goes way up, the weather is sizzling hot. Mr. Pants for romance, a Marine for his queen, a GI for his cutie pie is not, 'cause it's too darn hot, too darn hot, too darn hot. It's your turn to sing. You ready? Everybody ready to join in? Okay. It's too darn hot. 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 Too darn hot. Too darn hot. It's too darn Thank you so much. We're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll be right back with more music. Thank you, everybody. See you in a second. Forget your troubles. Come on, get happy. We're gonna chase all your cares away. Shout hallelujah. Come on, get happy. We're going to that judgment day. The sun is shining. Come on, get happy. The world is waiting to shake your hand. Shout hallelujah, come on, get happy. We're going to that promised land. We're heading across the river. Wash your sins away in the tide. It's all so peaceful round the other side. Forget your troubles, come on, get happy. We're gonna chase all your cares away. Shout hallelujah, come on, get happy, get ready for that judgment day. cares away. Shout hallelujah, come on, get happy. We're headed for that judgment day. The sun is shining, come on, get happy. The world is waiting to shake your hand. Shout hallelujah, come on, get happy. We're going to that promised land. We're heading across the river. Watch your sins way in the tide. It's all so peaceful around the other side. Forget your troubles, come on, get happy. We're gonna chase your cares away. Shout hallelujah, come on, get happy. Get ready for that judgment day. Come on, come on, come on, come on, and get happy. Hallelujah, get happy. Ba-doo-da, ba-doo-dee-da-da, ba-ba-doo-da, ba-da-dee-da. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. One and all, thanks for sticking around. For those of you just joining us, welcome to the second half of the show. This is where it really gets exciting. So if you know people that have left, you can call them tomorrow and say, ha ha ha, you missed it. We're going to continue now with the theme of happiness. You good with happiness? Yes, all right. One, two, I wanna be happy, but I won't be happy till I make you happy too. Life isn't worth living unless you are mirth giving. Why can't I give some to you? When the skies are gray, you say you're blue. I'll send the sun shining through. I wanna be happy, but I won't be happy till I make you happy too. I wanna be happy, but I won't be happy till I make you happy too. Life isn't worth living unless worth giving. Why can't I give some to you? When the skies are gray, you say you're blue. I'll send the sun shining through. I wanna be happy, but I won't be happy till I make you happy too. Living's worth living unless you are mirth given. Why can't I give some to you? When skies are gray, you'll say you're blue. I'll say the sun shining through. I wanna be happy, but I won't be happy till I make you happy too. Thank you. How about these guys, huh? Come on. Woo! All right, so Chase and Stu got a chance to do their thing. Now we get a chance to feature our friend Ross. Of all the boys I've known, and I've known some, till I first met you, I was lonesome. And when you came in sight, dear, my heart grew light, and this old world seemed new to me. You're very swell, I have to admit. You deserve expressions that fit you, and so I'll rack my brain, hoping to explain all the things you do to
Thank you very much. Thank you.
By me, Mr. Shane, please let me explain. By me, Mr. Shane means you're grand. By me, Mr. Shane, again I'll explain. It means you're the fairest in the land. I could say Bella, Bella, even say wunderbar. Each language only helps me tell you how grand you are. I've tried to explain by me, Mr. Shane, so kiss me and say you'll understand. By me, Mr. Shane, please let me explain. By me, Mr. Shane means you're grand. By me, Mr. Shane, again I'll explain. It means you're the fairest in the land. I can say Bella, Bella, even wunderbar. Each language only helps me tell you how grand you are. I've tried to explain by me, Mr. Shane, so kiss me and say you'll understand. So kiss me and say you'll understand. So kiss me and see
you'll under.
I lost it, see. That's for the classical lovers in the house. It's the closest I will ever get to doing opera. There's something that they call vocalese in jazz. And this involves taking an existing melody, often a solo, and writing lyrics to it. But every now and again, there's a melody that we know, we've known it for quite some time, but someone comes along and changes the words. And that's what someone named Eddie Jefferson did. And he was well known. Yes, Eddie Jefferson and Weird Al. Those are the two kings of vocalese. And Eddie Jefferson wrote lyrics to this next song. Now, for those of you who enjoy a good drama, perhaps you've binged on your last Netflix series and you're trying to figure out, what can I watch now? I've seen Bridgerton, and I've seen another series. I gotta watch more TV, clearly. So if you're missing the drama, if you're missing romance, if you're missing wartime stories and betrayal and deception and having children out of wedlock, this one's for you. Right? A long time ago, a second lieutenant named Spears returned to the States after being overseas 3 years. His wife said, "Welcome home, dear. As you can plainly see, we've been blessed with a darling baby, and a cute little thing is he." She took the baby in her arms and said, "Benny's his name." He said, "I've been gone away for 3 years, darling. Can't you please explain? So I won't seem so dumb. Tell me, where did little Benny come from?" Every time he'd ask, she'd say, "Benny's from heaven." His face turned red, but she continually said, "Benny's from heaven." Well, he'd always ask the neighbors that came around, but no one could seem to remember Benny coming down. He said, "Bought a little thing like this, I ordinarily wouldn't bother. And I might not know a lot about children, but I know they gotta have fathers." And as he looked at Benny, he said, "I can plainly see Benny must be from heaven, 'cause he darn sure ain't from me." contains pennies from heaven. You'll find your fortune falling all over town. Just be sure that your umbrella is upside down. Save it for a package of sunshine and flowers. If you love the things you love, you must have showers. So when you hear it thunder, don't run under a tree. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and for me. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. It is an absolute thrill to have been a part of this festival this year. We were talking about it backstage when David studied with Mark Kelso. The founder of this festival chatted with Mark 8 years ago and said, I want to do, maybe 9 when you guys first started talking about it, and said, I want to do a festival that features university students, undergrad students who are, kind of starting their careers. And then this year they invited us to be a part of it, and we were undergrads, and then we started teaching undergrads. But we still think of ourselves as undergrads, despite the fact that that might have been 20 or more years ago. But still. So we want to thank all of the festival. We want to thank all of the organizers. We want to thank all of the volunteers, all of the sponsors. Thank you so very much to everybody involved. How about a big round of applause? Indeed. Please continue to support them. Please keep following them. If you are just kind of stumbling upon this festival as you're out walking around, come back and stumble upon it again. Stumble upon it online. Find out what they're doing. And keep track of the students and the musicians that you've been hearing throughout this festival, because they are the rising stars, and you're going to be able to say you saw them when. So thank you very, very much for being here tonight. Thank you to our beautiful sound and lighting crew, and whoever's working the smoke machine, God bless you. And finally, thank you to these incredible musicians. How about a hand for these guys up here? Starting with this gentleman, an incredible musician, a band leader in his own right, multiple Juno nominee. He's played with everybody. If I listed everyone, I'd be here all night and this time tomorrow as well. On the drums, Mr. Mark Kelso. On the bass, again, one of the most sought-after musicians, someone who can play any style and play as if he's been playing it his entire life. My dear pal on bass, Mr. Ross McIntyre. On keys over here, a gentleman who, again, can play it all. You name it, classical, musical theater, jazz, blues, he does it all. And I am so glad to be able to call him not only a bandmate, but also a friend. This is Mr. Stu Harrison on the keys. And on trumpet and flugelhorn, someone who is a player, an educator, an author, a YouTube star, and today is his birthday! Happy birthday, Chase Sanborn! We thank you so much. We hope we will see you again very soon. Maybe if you want to pick up a CD on the way out, we would love that as well. Take care, stay safe. Thank you for spending some time with us tonight, and we leave you now on this one. And if you want to dance, feel free. Fascinating rhythm, you got me on the go. Fascinating rhythm, I'm all a quiver. What a mess you make it, the neighbors want to know. Why, I'm always shaking just like a flivver. Each morning I get up with the sun to find it, I know in the picture. You know that once it didn't matter, but now you did it wrong. When you start to patter, I'm so unhappy. Won't you take a day off, decide to run along? Somewhere far away up and make it snappy. Oh, how I long to be the gal I used to be. I'm so unhappy. Won't you take a day off, decide to run along somewhere far away on the thick and snappy? Oh, how I long to be the gal I used to be. Fascinating rhythm, won't you rather stop picking on me? Thank you so much, everybody. Jay Sanborn, Stewie Harrison, Ross McIntyre, Mark Kelso. My name is Heather Bambrick. Take care. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much.